Well, a lot of challenges, and but then yes, it's been fabulous. So thank you. It's really nice to see all of you here.
Sneha?
Hi, everybody. First of all, it's lovely being here with all the wonderful ladies celebrating Women's Day. So, this is Neha Rathore Khandelwal here. I'm CEO, Sanford Group of Schools. So, Sanford is one of the leading preschool chain of the country. We're ranked in top 5 preschool chain in India. And it is started by my parents. And I started working at the age of 16 when I realized that this is my passion and this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to build schools for the kids and wanted to work in early years. So I'm known to be the youngest educator in India. When I joined education, the moment that I walked into like conferences or any other room, I would just see, sorry to say, but just gray-haired people. So So yeah, everybody would just look at me like, what is she doing in this room? Such a young person in education, what would she know about education? But I think what amazed me was that if we had to change education is we needed more young minds, more young people to come in. And that's wherever that I go out, I always say that more young folks, whether men or women, are required in education to really revamp it. And that's what even at Sanford we are working at. My mission is to empower more and more women. And hence we're working more on women entrepreneurs and adding them more into our system as well at Sanford. Thank you. Priyanka?
Hello and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Priyanka Mohite. I'm an Indian mountaineer. I've started my journey from Sahyadri mountain ranges, and at the age of 20, I climbed Mount Everest, and that was it because it is every mountaineer's dream. And now I'm climbing, trying to climb all the 8,000 meters. So in 14 8,000 meters, I have climbed till now 5 8,000ers, and I became the first Indian woman to climb Mount Annapurna 1 and Makalu, which is like a 10th highest mountain and the 5th highest mountain. And after Annapurna, it was I think that's where my journey actually changed when the Indian government, I received Tenzing Norgay National Adventure Award in 2021 after climbing Annapurna 1. And I always want to be a good climber, so many more to come. And again, I'm going for the Dhaulagiri, which is like the 7th tallest. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, a big round of applause for all our panelists as we gear up to hashtag break the label. Okay, so let me just tell you, today we are not here to celebrate a day. Today we are here to celebrate womanhood. I hope all of you agree with me. We are here to tell the world that not to judge us on the basis of our gender, but only on the basis of our competencies. So let's start. Should we start the discussion? So we have another panelist with us, Shweta Mehta. She'll be here in some time, but I believe we should just start. Okay. Can we have one more mic, please? Can we have one more mic? This is not working, I guess. Right? Actually, we need 2 more mics. This is not working. Yeah. But I think we'll need one more mic. Sorry. Yeah, okay. Okay. So, okay, let's start. Yes. So, one by one, tell us, Captain Sneha, you tell us. You have been a racer, a pilot. What inspired you?
Well, speed thrills me, so I used to ride a sports cycle and I used to ride on the streets, and I'm not very proud of racing on the streets, but I used to be safe most of the times. And when I did try a go-kart on the racing track, I felt one with it, and I think it starts with following your passion, and I felt one with the kart, and the adrenaline rush I felt was like never before, and I decided that's how I want to feel for the most of my life. And I decided to make that my profession along with my flying. Sorry? Yeah. And that's how I took professional training and participated in the national karting with national racing, and I got approached by a national team, became the first and only Indian woman to ever qualify for the KCT category. And that's when I went for my flying training to California and came back and again resumed national karting and saloon car racing. And I think that's how the journey took forth. Yes.
Wow. So we have Shweta with us. A big round of applause for Shweta. That's all right. Could you please pass the mic? Shweta, why don't you introduce yourself to all of us? You're Payal, right? Yeah, I'm Payal. Hi.
Hi everybody, I'm really sorry for the late. Is it working?
Is it working?
I don't
You
think
have
so
to
it's
just
working.
press it.
Now it is.
Yeah, it is?
Yeah. Hi everybody, this is Shweta Mehta. I am from a very small town called Fatehabad, Haryana, where girls are very scared to dream, but I dreamt big, and I worked in IT for a few years in Bangalore. Then I decided to work on my dreams. The more exposures I kept on getting, the more bigger dreams I kept on dreaming. So when I was working in IT in Bangalore, I decided to start my fitness journey. And there were not many competitions were happening, but I like to be on the stage. So I decided there has to be something where fitness and stage can be merged. So I did my bodybuilding competitions, which was very unconventional career for an IT girl who's working as a senior software developer in telecom. So I did that. I won many competitions. Then I also won roadies. That's again something very, very big and very difficult. After that, I'm sorry I'm taking more time.
No, no,
Okay,
that's all
good.
right. Please take your time.
After that, I want to tell you something very special. So roadies is not big. Me being in fitness competitions and winning were not big. There's something bigger than that happened, and that was my accident. I broke my neck in some accident in a trampoline park in Gujarat. So the story is not from 0 to 100. How I see is I was already on 100. I worked for 5 years to be somewhere, and I was there, and then I fell down. I lost almost everything. I was physically, emotionally, mentally, and financially broke. And from there, I started a new journey. That's my comeback. And I think that has to be my identity. And I'm writing a book on my comeback. And now I recently did a film, and it's streaming on Z5. So that has been my journey. Thank you so much.
I was anyway about to ask you, tell me a story. So you've actually covered it.
That was a brief.
That's all right.
So before
we'll
everything,
come.
I hope you feel better now.
Okay, that's a very, thank you so much for asking. I should tell everybody who's in the room right now, you would not believe, but I do live in pain. I have 24/7 pain, and that's why I'm writing a book about it. People see something else, but the reality is something else. Doctors and big surgeons have told me that you should be grateful that you're alive. And pain, yeah, you have to go through the pain every day, every single moment. I still have the pain, but that's not, I don't talk much about that because I am not looking for any pity or sympathy. This is part of my life, and I am doing good with it.
Wow.
Proud of you, girl.
We all are proud of you. Talking about pain, Priyanka, would you like to tell us, how come mountaineering? How do you deal with the fear of adventure? Please tell us.
Yeah, as I mentioned that I got opportunity to climb Mount Everest, but the journey was a bit different. So I come from a city called Satara. It's a place in Maharashtra. And I used to do, actually my uncle used to take me and my few bunch of cousins to the fort, which is exactly near to my house. And then that's how it started. Like Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj was the biggest inspiration behind it because he used to take us on the fort and tell us the story about it. And I was like, wow, this is so beautiful. And then we didn't know that how it happened. My uncle said that you guys are very, very enthusiastic, but you guys have zero discipline. And that's how he said that, you know, when we are climbing any hill or fort, I think you guys should go with the people who will teach you, or maybe safety concern as well. So I started my journey. I started trekking a lot. Most of the birthdays I used to celebrate on the forts, and then I moved to the rock climbing, and then Yeah, one day as a kid, I was like very much into Discovery Channel, Nat Geo, and I wanted to climb Himalayas. And then that's how it started. I did my basic and advanced mountaineering course. I got A grade. That time it was very difficult to convince my mother actually because I was good in studies as well. So she's like, get the 80% and then you are going for the basic mountaineering course. Luckily, I reached there and I got my results. I got 71, but that's fine. She said, come home, then we'll talk about it. But then I did my basic, advance, and when I came from basic, I remember that my dad was very, very happy because I climbed my first mountain. And then he's like, now we should go for Everest. I was like, I think you need to chill. Because reaching 6,000 meter and 8,848 meters, it's a huge gap. But the number is very less, but it's a huge gap. Taking one step, I have to tell myself, and that was just second time. But I believe one thing that if you say something in the universe will give you. I was not that one. That was my dad actually. And 2013, I climbed Everest. Yeah, and then, yeah, of course, then Everest. From Everest, I saw one mountain, which is Lhotse. Then from Lhotse, I saw Makalu, which is fifth tallest mountain. Then I climbed that. And it was difficult to still convince my mother. So when I climbed Annapurna, one day we were having discussion, and then I asked, she's like, why don't you climb Kanchenjunga? It's our highest mountain. I was like, we were looking at each other and I was like, that change is really great. I was like, yeah, thank you. Yeah, so this is the journey till now. 8,000ers and many more experience. Like,
So that means, Priyanka, you had all the support of your family.
yes, absolutely. Without them, I don't think so. Anything is possible. Yeah.
Absolutely. What about the rest of you? What about Shikha, Sneha? Tell me, what about family support? How important is that?
I think
You are an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I think family support is the biggest blessing that one can have, and especially the women. Because I'll tell you, I'm married now. I'm still handling my dad's business as how the society will look at it. Because I mean, I've always been a part of his business, and he really looks forward that I would take care of it and move it forward. But I do remember when I was like maybe 24 or 25, and people already knew that, oh, she's somebody in education doing very well, very young. So people would come and say, oh, what happened when you would get married? I don't think you'll be able to, Rathorji, you should take care. Maybe if she moves out, will her in-laws allow her to do this work? And I used to always think, why anybody would allow me to carry forward what I want to carry forward? I mean, regardless that it is my parents' business or it is my own thing or whatever that I choose to do. But I think my mom and dad had been very, very clear that they have raised me to be like this, to be that bold, that whatever the decisions that I want to make in life, I can fearlessly make it without being questioned. And I'm very, very lucky that I've been married into a family who's more supportive than the family that I was in. So every day I stay in Gurgaon, so every day I travel from Gurgaon to here. I hardly get to spend time with my family, which I feel bad. But I think that, when they look at me, they always feel that, she is doing very well and she's going to accomplish whatever she wants to. And when you have that sort of a family, everything becomes very much easier. Because we, the women, we are very guilt-driven. हम कितना भी लाइफ में कुछ भी कर लेते हैं, we always feel less. Oh, we're not able to give full time to the family. Oh, we're not able to give a full day today at work. Oh, how are the kids doing, or how is this happening? So we're always torn between everything in life.
Sneha, sorry, me being Sneha as well, nice to meet you again. I beg to disagree a little, and I also agree a little. I think it's slightly a bit on conditioning and environment. We are guilted more than guilt-driven. Conditioning on how we're conditioned to guilt ourselves to follow our passion. Secondly, also, if our environment guilts us, so we feel guilty to follow our passion and our dreams. But like you said, your family is so supportive, then you do not feel the guilt, which is amazing, I feel, right? So yes.
That's true. But I feel as human beings, as women that I see and I've met and I've talked about this issue of being guilt-driven to so many women. It's not only about the mental conditioning, but also us as human beings, that no matter how full we are or how much that we work for ourselves or the people around us, we still feel we are less. So that's something we in ourselves have to correct, that what we are doing is fabulous and how much whatever that we are doing is good. We should appreciate it rather than feeling guilty. That's something we need to change in ourselves as women.
Absolutely true. We
I
spend
think I'll
more
just
time-
take it forward from, sorry for the interruption.
please go
I think
ahead.
I'll just take it forward from where she said. Both of you in your own way are completely right, I would say. But then society, family, I think everything all this keep going on and on. What I would suggest, what I follow is, jisko jo bolna hai bolne do. I'm telling you girls, you know, they'll try and pull you down, they'll try and demotivate you. I'm not talking about the family members, but in society, there are a lot of people, you know. So all you need is that kind of determination, and you have to trust yourself. Baki jo koi bolta hai na, bole do. I'm telling you, don't let anybody affect you that stops your journey in any which way. I feel that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, totally,
I think,
totally.
Yeah,
I have
Shikha,
a
please
point
take
to add to it. Like all of this lady say, it's there. We all know that thing. But I have a little perspective on it. That it is hardwired. It's so hardwired in your mind. Not our as the ladies or men. It's hardwired in everybody's mind that this should be done this way or that way. So it's not a fault of our other gender or us. It is there. We can't change it. But when we talk about it, yes, we can change it. So this brain is a device, a programmable device. So once we talk about it repetitively, we as in society, that it is possible that women is working, she's having family, she's having child, she's in-laws, and everything is going parallelly like men. So it is going parallelly for them. So once we talk about it, society, it is getting wired for the next generation. So when we see our parents and our generation and then coming, it will change. So it is there, it's hardwired. And we as a generation have the onus to change it, and we are doing it. So this event is this one of things.
We are always hard pressed for time. Either be it at work, if you're not spending much time at work, you feel guilty. If you're not spending much time at home, again you're feeling guilty. We're just hard pressed for time. Don't you think so?
Yes,
Always.
absolutely. And the beauty is that all of us would believe that we all know the art of balancing life. You know, that's yeah. And I think that's where we are today, because we all have families, we all have work, we all have friends, and you know, we are doing everything, whatever we might say. But then I think balancing is another art which it took me a little while to excel, but now I'm pretty satisfied for the way I've been handling it.
I
Wow,
completely
absolutely.
agree, and with the risk of, that since we were speaking about hardwiring stuff, that as an athlete, we go into neuro-linguistic programming, NLP as we call it, where we can, words, thoughts, induce feelings. It's a little, too much, but we train our mind to think a certain way, and I think we can break the label, as we call it, the theme of the event today, and try to change it for ourselves and the upcoming generations, hopefully. So yes.
Absolutely, Captain Sharma. So we have Sneha Sharma. So I'll call her Captain Sharma. And SRK, sounds good. Sneha Rathore Khandelwal. May I?
Sure.
You got these two big surnames.
Yeah, she's Sneha Rathore Khandelwal. So I really thought that I should call you SRK.
Yeah, I want to say something.
Please.
So many women are there. In fact, men are there too. I have attended a lot of women-specific events, and you all ladies would have attended those events. A few of them might not like it, but I'm going to say, why do we do such events? Sometimes it looks like kitty party, and we are sitting here telling each other that we are great. We are great. Women are great, right? I think we should do these events for men so that they should know it. Every time women are talking and women are the viewers, and these videos will reach also to women. But we already know what we are. Here we are spreading it to the men. And in fact, I would say, yeah, it's equality. Everybody should know it. Otherwise, it's just we in a room, indoors, sitting about each other's achievements, you know.
I think we are lucky to have that International Women's Day celebrated every year, which men don't, so we are,
We do
we are
have.
better off.
I think we do
Is there?
have
But
International
I
Men.
think, but it's not
Sounds a little
celebrated in a
weird.
big
I
way,
think they got 364 other days.
Yes.
No, so 2019, if I'm not wrong, UN had come up with the motto of gender parity. So where both genders were supposed to come up with equal opportunities as the need of the hour. But I do believe women do need to be empowered, and with the risk of sounding as a feminazi and a feminist, the power was taken away from women a few generations back with the need of women empowerment is why we are sitting here today, I think.
I mean, we've come a long way, but obviously it'll take more time to really reach where we want to reach.
I completely
so this
agree.
is required. We still feel like, oh, why are we talking about this again in a loop, like women empowerment or equality. आप women के बारे में बात कर रहे हो, men के बारे में नहीं कर रहे हो, because women have been suppressed for such a long time, for decades and decades. So it'll take us a while to reach where we call it equality. So
Yeah, and with great organizations such as LG that we're sitting here today, and the ones which I'm associated with as my sponsors and my employers and everywhere that I've worked, I do feel women are supported and women are empowered. That's all from me today.
I think we should give a big round of applause for the few men present here who have actually come to support us. Thank you. Thank you to all the men. Okay. So, Captain Sharma, you tell us something about your racing career, and you're a pilot as well, which has actually shaped your mindset, which has shaped, given you the power to face challenges. Because, racing, then again, pilot. How do you do that? How have you actually overcome the challenges in life? Has it, your career has impacted your life, your mindset, your approach?
Well, thanks. That's an interesting question. And what I always tell myself is that when I put on the helmet, I'm not a man or a woman. I'm only a racing driver. And that's the message I send out to all women and men alike, that when you put on your helmet, pick up your pen, or turn on your laptop, we should let go of our gender that we identify as or are, and just consider ourselves as a trained individual and a professional and take it from there. That's it.
Wow, absolutely. Shweta, what about you? Entertainment industry. It's quite a big deal. How do you deal with all the challenges?
I'm just a beginner there, just 3 years down the line. Again, it's not about men are getting challenges or women are getting challenges. I tell you about my challenges, because I'm from fitness background, which is a big stereotype already, and then I won roadies. So everybody used to look at me as a bodybuilder, and they would be like, this girl, don't even call her for auditions, don't even meet her, she can't probably act, she won't be able to perform a wife's character or a girlfriend's character. So I had to face a lot of those challenges. Why I'm talking about is because I have probably done 100, 200 plus auditions. Hundreds of auditions are still on the zero view on YouTube when we send the link. So this is the challenge we face. But how I look at it, I don't know if you people know about Ikigai. Ikigai is about doing your job at the moment with all your heart and soul, and forget about the rest of the thing. I spent years to practice that. Now I do that. I treat every day as a fresh day, no matter how many auditions I did the previous day, or the meetings, or the hard work towards certain things. I treat every day as a fresh day, and that's what I would want to say. Ikigai, yeah, follow Ikigai. If you don't have Ikigai, find your Ikigai. So Ikigai is basically your interest in something. It could be even cooking. It could be anything, even knitting. So whatever you are doing at certain point of time, you put your heart and soul into it. Forget about the outcome. At the moment you do that, an outcome would be beautiful.
Wow, completely agree with you. Barkha, next to you, you are also from the entertainment industry. Please tell us, what have been your challenges and how do you overcome them?
Well, I would say that, as you all know, that entertainment and glamour industry is all about gossip and a lot of toxic things happening around, and that actually happens. So when I'm working and when I'm with the people from the industry, I just like to be nice and do my work, as she said. You know, just do your work and give your 100% and just go from there. But when it's about my personal circle and when it's about my mental peace, I like to keep my circle very, very small, you know, just few close friends, and that's it. Because the glamour industry is huge and you have to work with everyone. And the fact is that you can't be friends with everyone, because end of the day you lose your mental peace because the amount of gossip that happens. So I just do my work and I try to like stay away and I do my bit, that's it.
Wow. Shikha, what about you? You also belong to a male-dominated industry. You're from the automobile industry. Please tell us about your challenges.
So it's more than 15 years that I'm into this automobile industry. So back after my completing my engineering in 2008, that time it was totally different. That you don't see much of girls in manufacturing plants in automobile industry. So that time it was totally different. But over the time, mindset have changed. Now many organizations have women in the this manufacturing industry roles. Over that back then 10 years or so, we don't see much of women on the this manufacturing plants. And I remember I just college pass out and I got campus placement. And I was in my first job, and it was completely male-dominated, of course, industry. All the men were there, and I was in that workshop. I have a love for electronics. I was an electronics engineer. So that workshop or laboratory was there. So I was sitting for days and days, and there was nothing to be given to me, because the men are not so comfortable giving me work, or colleagues were not so comfortable talking to you. So it is now up to you that how you go forward. You go back and then leave the job, that's up to you. And it's your choice to make that decision and to carry forward. So the perseverance comes over there. You go every day, you sit there, you try to make your space. So finally you have to accommodate yourself. People won't change for you. You have to change for yourself. So that I've learned very early. It's very early age, I guess. After engineering, how old I will be that time. So I learned that it's not their mistake. I want to be kind to yourself and to them also. It's okay. It's really okay. But it's very tough. At that age, yaar, kab tak? Kuch to, like, it's like that. So the message out there is that be kind to yourself and to others also. Because you will get connected to people. As we are here, we'll get connected to each other slowly, because we'll relate so many things. So once you will be there, you'll try to make your space. You will have your own content. You will learn slowly. So my observation was that to learn, observe, and listening. And slowly, steadily, you'll come into their shoes. So that's how over the years, maybe initially 4-5 years, I've handled like that. And now I'm just more than 15 years in this industry.
You've definitely come a very long way.
Thank you.
Sneha, why don't you tell us, do you think school education really works in empowering women to choose unconventional fields? Do we tell them that choose your passion, do not go for social stereotypes? Do we tell them? Do we tell them to break the label?
So I'll tell you, when, as I said already, for me the biggest challenge was being young and also to be heard that, what I'm saying, I can have an opinion. But I saw a larger problem in education, which was when I used to meet the teachers, the facilitators, I never knew that was the mindset. So the mindset was, who becomes a teacher, especially a preschool teacher? A person who's sitting free at home and can go out and work for 3 hours, and the family is also happy with it. So it's not the passion that those women are coming out, it's just the fact that 3 घंटे के लिए हम जाके पढ़ा भी सकते हैं और घर वाले भी कुछ नहीं बोलेंगे और ठीक है, अपना टाइम पास हो जाएगा. I saw it as such a big problem that how the educators of this country and how those teachers in our country are being nourished, that this is something, it's a time pass job for you. You can't take teaching as like a serious profession. So, and I started talking to them, I started counseling them. I thought the only way to narrow this gap is probably empower their skills. When they'll have better skills, they'll feel that they can do better, they can take this job seriously, because you're grooming these little ones. If you think that your job is like an optional one, then I mean the kids are in danger for sure. So as a woman, I felt that that was a huge gap. It is still there. We're trying to reduce it as an education industry. And also, what I felt that in schools, of course, nowadays, education is revolutionizing a lot. So what you asked me, are we telling the girls in the school as to break the label or do whatever that they feel? I mean, no school, I haven't seen schools not promoting that, but largely it depends on the parent. So if one side the school is holding, the other side the parents are holding. So if the school says that your child or your girl child, let me put it like that, is good in something, like maybe athletics or maybe, something in arts or something like that, if the parents are not strong enough to support that dream, it becomes very hard for the school to really go forward and go out there to help that child. And we've seen that we feel very helpless at a lot of times, that we are not able to, we can see the talent in the child and we are not able to help her out because the parents are not that out there and not helping her to break that label that, oh, I mean, why do you want to become a fashion designer? What is there in fashion designing? I still get such kind of comments from the parents. So, and that too in Delhi NCR, which is a metropolitan, it is the capital of India. And still, if the parents have that sort of a mindset that why women want to do fashion designing, or why don't you go with something conventional, maybe engineering, maybe doctor, or maybe like be a teacher, you'll be professor, you'll be able to handle your married life better. आप घर भी संभाल सकते हो और आप काम भी कर सकते हो. So this entire mindset, only the schools cannot change. It's by large the society that has to change. And I mean, we gravely see it every day, whether it's the teachers or the students.
Absolutely, it's the education and the family, parents plays a very, very important role, I would say. For me, empowerment is all about good education. And I'm like really grateful to my parents for giving me that good education that, where I am right now. So education definitely builds up a foundation for us. And then parents also, I feel, play a very important role in your life. By motivating you, by supporting you, by believing in you, and by always telling you that, you can do it no matter what. Believe me, when I told my parents that I'm becoming a DJ, and my mom living there in Agra, she was like, what? Like, what are you going to do? I was like, I'm going to play music, and she's also from a music background, but then, yes, obviously a traditional music. And at that, I'm talking about 15 years back, there were no female DJs, so somehow the acceptance was very less for people to understand that a girl can be a DJ. But the good part was that my parents, they listened to me and they understood what I'm telling them, and then they said that, okay, go ahead. Do it. We believe you. We trust in you that, you've been modeling for so long, and whereas we know that models also tend to go haywire in the industry, and they said, ki, at least you've never done anything like that. So we have blind faith in you. Go ahead, do it. But yes, the cutest thing was that when I became a DJ and my parents were here in Delhi, I had an event. They were very sweetly, they came to a club to see actually what I'm doing, So it's very sweet to see support like that. So I feel, yes, education and your family support is very important.
Very well said.
Go ahead. I want to add something here. It's not about only schools and only parents. We don't teach in schools, we don't teach in colleges that go and follow your passion and dreams, because not every family can financially support their children. Children have other responsibilities. That's why, and especially women, we sacrifice our passion and dream because we have to make money. Probably we'll get that money by being a professor and not by being a dancer or a DJ. You have amazing parents who supported you. Not everybody supports. Not every parents can support. They cannot. India is still, not everybody is rich here. Another thing is society, the fear of society. Parents play very safe and very love game, you can say. They want their kids
Conservative,
to
I
be
agree.
protective. Yeah. More than conservative, they want their kids not to go, through those harsh life out there. They just want their kids to be there. So even if they want to change, there are a lot of other factors involved.
You're
And that'll
right,
take
you're
decades
right.
to change.
I completely agree. Also, with what Sneha said, I always try to think, and when I share with my friends and extended family, that I consider a woman doesn't necessarily need to pick a field considered for a woman, but pick a field she likes and make her own space in it, which I try to do with racing and flying. So maybe that's what we can say to girl child.
Yes, society is like that. I would completely agree with you. There are times when how parents are, they're very sensitive towards their children. So there are times when, anybody from the society, neighbor or the relatives, they tend to tell something to my mother. It does pinch them, So then they come back to us, they come back to me, and then they discuss. So the whole process is that, yes, it is difficult for them, and there are times when we also, have to handle this. But that's how India is.
We have to agree
We are
on this.
Indian women. We are Indian women.
So we are transforming here, and parents are transforming sitting in a small town because they really have to go through a lot.
absolutely.
A lot.
I wonder, had I told my parents that I want to play a DJ console, they would tell me, why not a harmonium or probably a sitar? Why not? Me, I'm Bengali. Bengalis are known to sing. I wanted to dance. My parents, no, you have to sing. So it is difficult. So let me tell you, so I also want our audience to engage with us. Any questions, we can take it. I think Neha, Shruti, any one of you could just help us. You have a question? Neha, could you please take it to us? You want to come here and let me know? I think we have few questions from our audience who have joined the live streaming link.
Oh, live
Yeah, live streaming link. So we have questions from there as well. So I think we should just take up those questions before we move ahead. In the meantime, Gunjan ma'am, why don't you just think of a question to ask us?
Not really a question.
Could we, should we just, can we just give her a mic, please?
Maybe we can hand it
Yeah, yeah,
over
yeah.
to her.
No,
Yes, ma'am.
It's not a question, but I was just thinking as you are in your own domains, really making that difference. And I believe all of us sitting here or in any corporate or any woman who has chosen to put career or work over the other priorities, I think she has a similar story to tell. It's all about the challenges she has gone through. It's all about the parents who've been supportive, not supportive, or who've heard a lot from the society. And I believe all of us sitting here have kind of made that journey, whether it's a 5-year in corporate, 25 years in corporate, or any other job for that matter. I've seen women sitting at a shop counter, supporting her parents, or someone who's supporting a husband who's kind of lost his job, and then the woman steps up and kind of starts. So I believe we all have it in us as a person who really cares. And I think regardless of who's in our zone, if they are in our zone, then we would do anything for them. So I mean, I really admire you guys for the amazing, amazing stories you've kind of given us. It just gives us that feeling that yes, we are absolutely on the right track. So thank you so much for your inspiration.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, can we pass the mic? Nidhi ma'am?
Okay, hi. I want to thank all the lovely women present here. I think you have definitely shared your part of story and we really loved it. There's just a question that comes to my mind that how do you think, any one of you could answer this, how do you think a women allies can support the women in the organization to grow and come up? This is for the corporates. This is not for the families because anyway we are supported by our families, that's why we are here. So if you could reply to this. Thank you.
There's like networking
Deepika ma'am?
should be.
Okay.
So in corporates, we have this network basically. So women normally don't network much. So as in small allies, so that we can have networking teams within us, within the corporates. So if we have a Sector 15 as an office here in LG or somewhere else, so we can create that network among us. So we can have quarterly meetings or monthly, depends upon corporates to corporates. So where we can network with each other, we can have buddies with each other. So like if any senior person is there, we can have a buddy with the junior ones, or as per the company demands. So that's why people will get open up. So if something is there in your mind, it is very common, it's very okay. Because then she also have the same thing. Because we don't discuss much in corporates. And here you have so many women. In our industries, we don't have women also. So we don't need to discuss somebody, we have one HR, one. So it's like the industry to industry. So to networking is the best thing actually, to resolve many of the conflicts, many of the issues. It is similar to all that. So it gives peace to you.
I 200% agree to what you're saying, because as a woman entrepreneur, I do feel that when I go looking out for, maybe there's some women clubs that you could probably join in, especially where you have entrepreneurs, or you have more maybe like HRs or good professionals at high posts where you collaborate. So much of collaboration can happen at that level. So much of learning from each other can happen at that level, which is absolutely missing. And it had been ticking in my mind for so long that why don't we have such sort of club where we could, discuss issues. Maybe, I mean, I would have some problem, and if I say something to you, might have a solution to it.
We have reached to that level now that this should be there.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
just to understand your question, sorry to interrupt you, was it for career growth related, discussions, or for women growth, or just for social discussions, or emotional help, or, things like that? I was trying to understand.
I think it's not about career growth, it's about a better relationship, better coordination, better work with each other, and kind of moving together. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Although I'm from a technical operations background in terms of my employment, but I feel HR wing for women especially, though I do know that HR primarily, mostly women are heading most HR in companies, but it's not a given. So I feel a special HR dedicated to women workforce would really help sort out women needs in a workplace, I feel so.
Yeah, thank you.
I have a savage answer to that one word. If you want to help other women, be gender biased.
Gender biased, could you elaborate?
Yeah, promote women, like give more offers, give more jobs to them, keep them above men, so be biased.
Equal opportunities.
No, I'm not talking about equal, that's why I said it's a savage answer.
So-
You want to grow together, be wise.
Yeah,
A
because
lot of
normally-
companies worldwide are coming up with, it's a little uncomfortable topic, but menstrual leaves for women, yeah.
Normally, a lot of women tend to become very insecure because they feel कि हमसे आगे ना निकल जाएं. I've noticed that thing. But then I feel that, because I have been able to create that legacy, and now that I see so many female DJs around, I really like to be, I think that's my nature. At end of the day, it's humanity and it's how sensitive you are as a human being. And I just feel that, if I have that kind of networking, or if I have those kind of clients, where at times, if the requirement is, then, there are a lot of people, there are a lot of artists, they would just say, ki, we don't know anyone. We don't know anyone, because they are so insecure, they don't want to promote a second person, they don't want to promote a second girl. So when somebody asks me, I'm the first one, I would like try and source. I feel that if I am not doing that work, so why not, At least someone should get that work, someone should get that platform, that exposure, which is very important for a freelancer artist. So I, with my heart and soul, I like to support my fellow female DJs.
I believe what we require is not gender equality, but gender equity. So we need to understand, because there can't be equality, there cannot be, because God made us that way, right? So we are not equals, but at least there should be gender equity, right? So should we just take the questions that we have received from the audience?
Yeah, they're ready.
Yeah, I have them with me. So I think this question is for SRK. How education has transformed after pandemic for kids?
So how education has transformed after pandemic? I think after pandemic, what I see, it has been like a 360-degree change in the entire system, especially in education, because we would have never imagined schools completely shutting off and 2 years old or 3 years old learning from a screen, and then cut to again the schools are open. So it has been a huge change because I feel nowadays, especially as I look as an educator, the parents have become very, very conscious. मेरा बच्चा ठीक तो नहीं रहा है, मेरा बच्चा ठीक तो है, हाँ एक scratch भी नहीं लगना चाहिए. They become very overprotective. I think that's a big challenge as an entire industry we are facing post-COVID. That nowadays all the parents, they generally have one kid, which we see changing. That's the trend that we are noticing in education. So and both the parents, mostly in metropolitans, are working. So they feel that, oh, we are not able to give that much of time to my to our kid. Hence, that sort of overprotectiveness is there, that nothing should go wrong with my kid. So that after COVID is really hounding us as educators. And also during pandemic, what happened was, not to name any companies, but a lot of online companies came in which sort of employed a lot of teachers and have gone bankrupt now. So
Everybody knows.
yeah. So a couple of them, not only one, the largest one just happened, but a couple of them. So all of a sudden what happened was we were not getting teachers, no tutors. And then all of a sudden, and their salaries gone like, shot up like anything. So because they were like, oh, we're teaching online, we don't need your job. But now what is happening, again, we see a lot of unemployment happening in education because of these companies shutting down. So a lot has changed between this phase of COVID and post-COVID.
Thank you, Sneha. SRK. Okay, so we have one question. What rights do women lack? Do we think that women lack rights in our country? That's a question that we received. Anybody wants to answer? We can take that answer from the audience as well. Do we, do we think that women lack rights in our country?
I have an answer by
Yes.
observation, not by experience. If I may, unless the audience have an answer as well.
No, Captain Sharma, please go ahead.
So, although I have not experienced it, but I have friends who have. So, I have a few friends who, due to maternity leave, actually missed opportunities for promotion. So, in certain organizations, and I'm very upset about that. Okay.
I think we have another story here as well.
Yeah, so
I
think
think
that's
we
unfair.
want to hear that story from the audience as well.
Yeah.
A similar kind of thing?
So that's, I think, unfair. I understand a role needs to be filled. So, but having said that, I mean, a woman should not be deprived the opportunity for her career, for,
Absolutely,
just because she has to bring another human into the world.
But overall, India is improving a lot. We
The
don't
world,
have
the
to
world.
answer it. Yeah, we don't have to be depressed about it. I think we are getting a lot of rights and equality.
That's right.
Equity, in your case. No, we are doing really good.
I think we all agree with that? Yes. So, okay, the next question is, what do you think that fulfills you as a woman? I think anybody can take that question because I don't know whom this question is addressed to. So, anybody wants to answer that? What do you think fulfills you as a woman? Anyone? Priyanka, please tell me.
I actually basically feel that. So initially I was climbing and working at some, like both the things I was managing. Now I'm married Now I'm again handling one more family. I was handling, like, I was taking care of my family. Now I have one more family. Initial days, I was feeling it's like, it's very, very tough for me. And now I'm enjoying and I'm happy. I think that's the happiness because I think it was like initially I was feeling like, oh, it's going to be very tough to handle, first of all, passion, then my job, then my career, like my parents, um, and now again one more family. Now I was feeling like a burden, but now like I was like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? But I think the people around me are really, really, really supportive. So I feel like, yeah, now I'm like, yeah, I can manage everything. So I feel like fulfilled, like, okay, fine, I can do it, everything together. Like, but initially it was like very, very difficult. Like, I only used to think that how I can do this, that, and all those things, what I want to do it. And then again, like, how I can achieve and all those things. But now I feel like, okay, fine, I can do everything. I feel like now I'm multitasking, like, though my husband doesn't believe in that word, but I feel like, no, I'm multitasking. Like, 5 o'clock, I can get up, I can work out, I can come, I can cook, I can go to the office, I can come back again, I can cook, like, go to the workout, and then I can search for the sponsorship, and 9 o'clock, I'm on bed. Like, my schedule is fixed and I'm doing everything. I'm feeling happy that, like, seriously, because I never been interested in cooking. But now I feel that, okay, I can do that also now. And I was like, yeah, I'm doing it, I'm managing. And I feel actually, when I sleep, I feel like, oh, so many things I've done. I'm extremely proud of myself like that, yeah.
Interesting. That's your advice to all the budding mountaineers out there?
Like, yeah, but they won't have the same, like this. Right?
What is your advice to them?
My advice to them is like, see, first of all, no one is considering mountaineering as a sport. It's an adventure sport. Yeah, it's an adventure sport. Now government is also recognizing. So now people started coming, like, getting to know more about it because social media, everyone. But initial days, when I didn't get the support, and now if I see the 10-year gap, there is a lot of support as well. So when I started from the small steps. I started taking the small step. Sahyadri, then the rock climbing, then basic mountaineering course, and then Everest happened. Actually, Everest happened. I got the opportunity and I just grabbed it. So for people like climbers or anyone want to start it, I will definitely say, because when you go to the mountain, physical fitness, mental fitness is there, but there is a one important term which is called as acclimatization. You need to adapt your body in the mountain. So that only you will get to know when you go in the mountain and check yourself. When you go to 5,000 meters, 6,000 meters, so your journey you should start slowly, slowly. I definitely believe, know yourself better, practice hard, mentally you are very strong. I won't say like men and women, but all Indians are mentally very, very strong. Women especially, I thought, definitely they won't lose any chance. But yeah, start slowly, slowly, and then yeah, you can climb any mountains.
That's basically an advice for life. That your foundation should be strong, go gradually.
Yeah.
You can't achieve Everest in one day.
And one more thing which I have observed, that we are so passionate to go to the top. Like we are practicing from 6 months, sponsorship, this and that. So a lot of struggle, parents, support, so many things are there. But one thing which I have realized from my one of the expedition is like, life is very important. Taking one step back is not at all failure, because that mountain is always there. Come back, like prepare hard, go and bounce back and just go to the top. I always
Wow. A big round of applause for that. That's actually an advice for life. You are giving us advices for life. Shruti? Yeah. We have a question from Shruti.
Hi Priyanka, I'm so motivated. Just a question from my end, how it feels to receive an award from a President of India. How does that feel?
I will definitely tell. 2021 I climbed Annapurna, the 10th highest mountain and the dangerous mountain in the world, because the success rate is just 33%. Annapurna gave me in that year 2 gifts. One is small frostbite, second degree frostbite in my finger. And this was like the biggest thing. I will definitely mention that whenever I climb any mountain, it's a festival in my family.
Wow.
Everyone
Absolutely.
celebrates. When I come back, everyone is there okay, I don't believe in the crackers and all, so I told them don't do that, don't burst the crackers and all, but everyone celebrate. And they announced the award, and Tenzing Norgay is nothing but the Arjun Award. It's equivalent to Arjun Award. They have changed the name in 1992. And they announced everything, and I was like, my mom was like, did you hear anything? I was like, it's okay. Then, just to, lose the temper, I went to shop with my mom. And there I got a call. And I was like, they were speaking, we are from the ministry and all. My cousin was there, and I was like, I sat down, and I was like, sir, you said 15 minutes, something, but I don't know what you have said because it's not going in my head. And I started crying. And then, yeah, it was an amazing moment. Not for me, but I can see my parents were there, and I can see their eyes, no? Because when I'm in mountain, and when I summit, when I'm on the top, but I don't know how they feel it. I always imagine they must be happy and all, but that time I saw them, and that was it. What else you want? Your parents are so happy. And COVID time was there, so only one person was allowed in Rashtrapati Bhavan. So everyone was like, I will come, I will come. Like that. So my mom is like, I've already told like that. Like, mother. So I took her, and I remember they said that whenever they will announce your name, your family members should clap like this, then they will focus on you. My mom, so busy crying, she forgot to clap. She forgot, and then little bit she did like that, and she just crying, I can see. But I think looking that happy face and that proud feeling in your parents' face, I think for that I can do anything.
That's so nice. I'm very happy your mother was alive when you received that award, because when I was felicitated by the sports minister in the Sports Authority of India, my mother was not alive to see that for my achievements in international racing. But kudos to you, yeah. Proud
She
of
was
you.
still watching over you.
Yeah, I mean,
Trust
even when
me,
I
she
got
was
my
still watching
command,
over you. And she
at
was
the age of
clapping from
27, she was not alive, but it's okay.
She was
Yeah,
clapping
thank
for you. I'm sure she was
Yeah,
clapping for
sure.
you. Yeah. So, okay, next question is for you, Shweta. What motivated you to come back after your accident?
Mirror.
Mirror.
Yeah.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Wow.
That tells you everything. I think you should see the mirror every morning before you go to work or do anything. It has every answer you're looking for. And every day when I was in bed rest, I was almost on deathbed. Every day I got up, I looked at the mirror. This is not what I want. This is not what I want. And yeah, this is not I wanted, so I'm here. Mirror has everything in it.
How can one pursue racing as a career?
Well, first of all, be dedicated, committed, humble, and a good human being, I feel, because then God opens paths for you which don't exist initially. I feel, and let your performance speak for itself, because also make your weaknesses your strength, because initially when flying was my primary profession, and I used to use only my personal leaves for my racing, and when my previous employer saw my performance on the racetrack, they came forth as my sponsor also. I was the brand ambassador, and then I was on a primary sports person role. And now also I am racing and flying together, and just fitness plays a huge role. And since we are talking about gender parity and women empowerment, racing is one of the few sports in the world which allows men and women to compete on the same platform. And there a woman has to put extra effort to work on her fitness to compete with men who are slightly stronger than women physically in muscular and hormonal level in terms of testosterone only, I guess. So yes, I do work extra hard on my fitness, but now in the world we also have women dedicated championships, which I was earlier mentioning I have won. So yeah, that's how you make racing a profession, along with flying, of course, which I'm also doing. Yes.
I have a question. It's funny though.
Yes.
When you fly, do you feel like racing up there?
I mean, I do, but there are people stopping me from doing that.
No, what do you feel? somebody who's a racer would want to.
Yeah, so like whenever I joke, I mean, I'm racing on the racetrack, or rather, racing in the skies and flying on the racetrack. When I was with MTV, you know, our
So
races
nice.
were covered on MTV, and also when I did the Jockey Women portraits featured on MTV, that's what we were talking about. But roadies is another level. I mean, I'm proud of you.
This is a question I've been waiting to ask you. I thought I'll ask you at the end. What prompted you to participate in MTV Roadies?
I think every North Indian has that dream. I just fulfilled it. But every kid, yeah.
I'm from Mumbai.
Before I answer this, I want to add on something which Sneha said. So basically, she doesn't have that racing thing when she's flying. She flies on the road.
No, on the racetrack, because I'm also a road safety ambassador, so yeah.
I'm in
I was coming
racetrack.
to that. We'll have to take care of road safety and Delhi
I actually
NCR.
meant racing track, I'm sorry. So coming back to roadies, yeah, everyone who's watching TV and roadies was really big back then. And we watched TV and we would say, oh, ye to main bhi kar sakti hu, ye to main bhi kar sakti hu. We feel that, right? I'll tell you something very interesting about it. Not how I got
Those
into
tasks
it.
are really difficult. I
Oh,
cannot do the roadies tasks.
I created history in roadies. In semi-finale task, it was supposed to be 25 minutes. It's supposed to be done in 25 minutes, and I did it in 2 minutes. So I created history in the show.
Wow.
So thank you. And I was telling you something else.
Sorry.
That recall now.
Okay, tell me, how is the audition like?
Very tough. I auditioned for 4 years. I kept on getting rejected every year, and it's very difficult to go back, keeping your ego aside every year, that this time I'm going to crack. First time I cracked the 3rd round of it, and I got rejected. Second year, 2nd round. 3rd year, 1st round. And I'm like, what's going? What's what's happening? And then I worked on myself. This time when I went, I knew the show was mine. Yeah, I now remember what I wanted to tell you. When I won the show, there were 20 contestants. So many people came to me. Back then I was very focused during my show. I didn't use bad words. I didn't swear at all. I didn't fight. I didn't have any affair. I was just concentrating on winning the show. What I want to tell you is, when I won the show, many people came to me, the contestants. Did you know you would win? It's an interesting question. And I asked them back, आप लोग क्या जीतने नहीं आए थे? और जीतने नहीं आए थे तो क्या करने आए थे? मैं तो यही सोच कर आई थी, yeah. You win or you don't win, that's another thing. But you come to win. What else did you come for?
Maybe a lot of people still think that it's scripted.
Oh my God.
A
No,
lot
it's
of people
not.
think that.
I wouldn't have spent 4 years. It's really not scripted. I would say definitely the makers of the show have their favorites. But you have to fight your own ways. Everywhere it's there.
No, but when I got a call for Big Boss, I heard it was scripted, but I did not.
So Big
go for it.
Boss, Splitsvilla, Roadies, and all other reality shows. Every show has a different format. Even Big Boss is not scripted.
They have their favorites.
I can't comment because it's not
Yeah,
official.
they want certain characters to be in the show. If everybody is just playing on their own, then how will they make a show? So they just
Exactly.
take surety, if this is how you're gonna portray in the show, please keep your character intact. So that's how it is.
It's all about entertainment business. और अगर fun नहीं होगा तो लोग देखेंगे कैसे? That doesn't make sense. The TRPs will fall. So there has to be some element of fun also, I believe.
Of course. So Barka, you tell us, do you hope to send any message through your gigs? Or do you send any messages to your gigs when you perform out there? Are you sending any message to the women out there, to everyone who wants to pursue DJing as a career?
Believe me, I feel that life is hectic and stressful for all of us. And when people plan and they come out partying, I want to make sure that they go back happy home, They're able to enjoy and they're able to say next morning, ki, we really had a good time. So I just feel that, spreading happiness, seeing my audience on the floor, dancing, smiling, just gives me a different kind of joy I would feel as an artist. So yes, my main thing is to spread happiness through my music and make people happy, and so that they always remember that they had a good time in this hectic life.
Okay, one last question. And I think we should just end it, otherwise we'll go on and on. We can carry it forward like, offline. But one last question. Do you think men can do in this society to empower women? What can men do to empower women in our society? One last question for the men out there.
I can give you one line, I just give one-liners. Exactly what women are doing for women.
Okay, good. Anyone else? Anyone else from the audience? But
Well, I'm married, so I would say that a man being with a wife who's famous and still being so supportive and accepting, keeping the male ego aside. I think it is a very big thing for a man to do that. And the way I feel that, my father or my husband treats me equally in the house, I think that is the biggest acceptance I would get from my family and from my husband. It is not easy for men. Believe me, in fact, my husband works with me, but he's not the one who's the front face. I'm the one who's the front face, and he does mainly all the technical bit. So after the event, he sees like 2,000 people rushing to me, but he would just quietly stand aside and see, and he would just admire that, and he would just support me, and he's my biggest supporter, and he criticizes also, I would see, because at the end of the day he wants me to improve, so I think it's a very big thing, and I'm like blessed to have a husband like this who would just keep the male ego aside in everything and just see the wife doing well.
So same pinch on that, Barkha. So my husband, he...
Where do you get these kind of husbands?
just lucky us.
Raising your husband.
Don't worry, we'll find one for you. We'll find one for you.
You will find. So...
Jokes apart. Sorry, after you.
So my husband, before, we dated for 9 years, and then we got married. So he runs his own business, which is into coffee, and when he saw me working after getting married, and he used to see me doing into education, and he loved it. And he says, I want to get into this with you. So he's heading the K-12 vertical, and I'm the CEO of the entire company. So every time he says, she's my boss, I'm reporting to her. Everybody knows that. And so it takes a lot for the men to be like that. That, whenever that we are in a room professionally, he really treats me like I am reporting to you, you are my boss. And, everybody under me knows that everything goes through you. And I'm not the ultimate deciding person. And even before that he joined me in the business, he always said that thing, I want to be that person in the room where, you go take up some, the biggest award possible, and I want to be the one getting up in the room and clapping for you.
And believe me, when you go looking for a guy, don't go looking for a guy, because it's all about the family. These boys are being conditioned since they were kids, so the right family is very important.
Moving on topic.
So more than boys is the right family.
Barkha, I was just about to say that all the spinsters out there, there's Nick Jonas in India as well. I was just about to say that.
Sorry, but I'll just add on the professional work front. Very nice to know about how, husband should be. But on a professional work front, how a man can add value to a woman in a workplace, to just treat her like a professional and not as a woman, to make allowances for her. For example, if he thinks she might make a mistake because she's a woman, or she might cry because she's a woman if he's giving her constructive criticism, or, things like that. That's all, I feel. But yeah, that's all. And to trust
I
her.
thought we'll give some credit to men as well. They also have the right to feel good.
Sorry? Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I also want to add a little bit, just last year happened, the first week of May was my wedding actually. And then we got to know that the weather of the mountain which I'm going to climb is the summit dates are like the first week and second week. So I just looked at my fiance and I was like, what to do? Then he's like, you're going? I was like, what about wedding? He's like, postpone. I was like, is it so casually he said it? And I was like, are you really mean it? He's like, yeah, I really mean it. And then then we thought that okay, we'll keep the wedding on 28 May, and then till 20 May, I was in mountain. I was waiting for the weather to get clear, and I had a communication through the satellite. My parents are like, my mom, my dad is like, I think you should give a chance. You should give a chance. And on top of it, exactly they found the one more person like that. He's like, yeah. I was like, what if I submit, I come back, and I'm not reaching to the wedding? He's like, postpone it. I said, no, this is not that casual. But then I realized one thing, like, yes, everyone is supportive. I was really blessed to have this kind of support. But then I took that decision to come back because sometimes you can't be that much selfish as well in the mountain. So yeah, I think men should do like yeah.
Okay, so many women together. I think we'll keep chatting the entire night.
I told you to keep
I totally agree. So let's just, okay, I think we should just conclude now. I would request Neeta ma'am to say a few words. The brand marketing head for LG Electronics India. Very big round of applause for her.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for making it on a very, very short notice. And unfortunately, we could not do so many things because it was a very, very short planned trip. But thank you for making it, and I hope the audience also enjoyed it. It was very, very insightful, though it was, we got a little bit funny incidents also, but I think the messages are very, very deep. Women empowerment, yes, people say that why do you talk about it, but it will take generations. I don't think so in this generation also it is possible, because you could see many educated people also talking about things, and deep in their mind, they still do not believe that women can do things which men are doing. At the same time, we are hearing stories of supporting husbands, fathers, brothers. So there's a long way we have to go, but it was wonderful to meet you and interact with you. And I'm sure the audience which has seen live also have, enjoyed this session. We have some very senior women leaders here and our colleagues who are working very hard to, make their mark. And they also have the very, very interesting journeys. So I would call Gunjan, Nidhi to give our, sweet little some token of appreciation for your efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yes. A big round of applause for Priyanka Mangesh Moite. Thank you, ma'am. Let's hear it for Sneha Rathore Khandelwal, SRK for us. DJ Barkha Call. Thank you, Barkha. Shikha Khushu. You have a very happy name, happy surname. Thank you. Captain Sneha Sharma. Big round of applause for her. And now we have MTV Roadies winner, Shweta Mehta. Thank you so much, all the lovely ladies. Let's have a group photo. ठीक है. Come on, let's have a group photo. Yeah, the men, Men can also come.